Hi everybody, I'm Jodi Reinert. This is my Stamp with Jodi YouTube channel. Welcome to our latest episode of the Great North American Stampin' Show. Last week's episode, Julie dominated. She did an amazing job. The projects have all been so great this season. And honestly, tonight, it's kind of taking it to the next level. We are so excited about our projects we have to share with you tonight, and even more so because of what we're also announcing. So you may notice I have the Santa hat, and you probably know that it's only the end of September, which you might think, is jumping the gun a little bit. Normally I would agree, but because we are announcing our very first ever Great North American Stampin' Show Retreat in a Box, we wanted to just celebrate and go all out, and that's why I chose to wear my Santa hat. I don't know if the other girls will. I might be the only one doing a Santa hat in September, but that's okay. Our Christmas Retreat in a Box. It's the Traditions and Treasures Christmas Retreat in a Box. Registration opens today. So there is a link right here in my description that you can go to see all of the details. Basically, well, it's going to be awesome, but you're going to get a lot of product. You're going to make 8 cards, 2 3D items that will kind of blow your mind. And then there's other fun gifts and surprises and treats. We're just so excited to do this. So enjoy our current episode of the Great American Stampin' Show. Do your usual thing. Watch all 4 videos. Give your thumbs up vote to the one that you like the best. But be sure to check out the registration link for our brand new Christmas Retreat in a Box. Okay, so for my project today, I'm going to show you this super cute little treat pouch, but you could also use it as a card. So stay tuned for that. I am using the traditional labels bundle. So keep in mind, we are all showing you projects this week that are made with that suite of products, the Christmas Traditions suite of products. Our Retreat in a Box will be with the Keeping Traditions Scrapbooking Kit, even though it's not focused on scrapbooking, remember that. But we are, we're showing you projects today that are not part of our retreat. So I just want to emphasize that these are just like bonus things that you can do in addition to all of the things we're going to have in your retreat box. So an add-on that we are offering with our retreat is the Traditional Labels Bundle. And it's pretty awesome because it's got a variety of Christmas greetings, some different sizes and fonts. And these dies are quite awesome and very versatile because you could use them with these stamps, of course, but you can use them with any other greetings and sentiments that you have. So I'll be using those on my project. I want to start by pulling in my paper trimmer and a 12 by 12 piece of designer paper. I'm going to go ahead and start by just cutting this in half. So it is now 6 inches by 12 inches. So with the 6 by 12 inch piece, what I'm going to do is go ahead and score 4 inches in from each end. I'm gonna be honest, I can't find my scoring blade right now, so I'm just gonna simply use my bone folder. This is another little tip for you. I'm gonna score in 4 inches from each end. So in other words, it's scored at 4 inches and 8 inches, okay? So I'll scoot this aside just for a moment while we get that folded. Of course, if you're not familiar with Stampin' Up! Paper, you see the gorgeous double-sided paper that we have. So we've got some Secret C monochromatic pattern and then a really pretty, more multicolored pattern on the other side. Okay, so I went ahead and scored, so we've got the 3 panels that are each 4 inches. Now what I want to do is take this 6-inch side, remember it's 6 by 12, so I'm going to take this 6-inch side, grab a pencil, and just make a really little mark at 3 inches. I want to mark the center. Flip it around, do the same exact thing on this side. So I'll just make a little mark there. Now, what I want to do is cut my designer paper. This is the trickiest part, but once you get it, it's not difficult at all. I'm going to set that mark, the little mark that I made with the pencil, in the groove of my paper trimmer. And this point up here where I scored and folded, I want to cut that little triangle off. So I'm simply going to go like that to cut the triangle off. Now I want that exact same angle, so I'll do the same thing on this side. The scored line goes in the track, and then I look for my pencil mark, put that on the track, and then chop that off, okay? I think I'm done with my trimmer, so I'm gonna set that aside. Now, this is the biggest decision that you have to make. Will you fold it like this so that you have primarily secret C on the outside with the multicolor peeking through? Or will you fold it like this? Decisions, decisions. I have decided, because I'm going to pull in, oh gosh, what do I have? 4 other samples to show you. So stick around so you can see all the samples because they're all super different. I'm going to take this one with the secret C on the outside. One little thing I forgot to mention, I am going to pull this back in because what I want to do is take, you may notice when I fold this in and fold this in, it's not, there's a little bit of a bubble that I don't want. So all I'm gonna do is take this one edge, set it in my trimmer at 1/4 of an inch and just cut that off. Now I'm actually done with my trimmer. All that did was give me a little bit of a smaller piece here. You're never gonna see that that doesn't go all the way over because of the way it's being secured, but it just helps it to lay nice and flat. So that's just one simple trick that you can do to help this to lay nice and flat. Okay, so I am going to use tear and tape adhesive. You could use the Stampin' Seal Plus. The whole point is just to make sure you're getting a nice, strong adhesive. So I'm going to take the tear and tape and just place it right in the center along the bottom. I want it to be pretty close to the bottom there. I love this because I can just tear it with my thumb. I'll peel that back, and now I want the shorter end to be attached. So I'm just gonna press that down there. And then I'm going to add another strip of tear and tape, or like I said, Stampin' Seal Plus, right along this edge. And then I'm going to rotate. I want this to be secure over here, so I'm going to add some, again, keeping it as close to the edge as I can without going over. And then I also want to add some to that little angle piece, but I need to know, I don't want to run it the whole length because all of a sudden then it's going to be stuck there and I won't be able to slide anything in and out. So I want it to only go up to here. So I'm just going to take my pencil, make a little mark on the inside. Again, nobody's going to see it. And then I can just add a piece here and make sure that it doesn't cross my pencil. Okay, so I've got the adhesive along the bottom here. So we'll take that off along this edge here, and then finally down here. And then I'll just fold it over, being careful to line up the bottom, and that just all sets into place. Now, there are so many different things that you could do with this at this point. And that's why I said I've got several samples that I did entirely different things. So I'm excited to show you all of the options that you have. Okay, for this, I'm going to pull my trimmer in one more time. I really think this is the last time. I'm going to take a piece of this. So this is that other 6x12, and I'm just gonna cut a 1.5 inch strip off of the end. So I've got 1.5, it's still by 6, so I want to just cut that so that it's 4 inches. 4 inches by 1.5, and then this will fit right across the front here. I'll just use my regular Stampin' Seal adhesive to attach that. I don't want it right at the top, I want it just, let me think. I'm going to be using this label this way, and I want it to stick up like that. So that might be the best way to guide. I'll just kind of put it right there. Scoot the label out of the way. And that's where I'll put that. I really like that because it draws out this pattern here by putting the additional strip of it there. Okay, since I've got this out, we'll go ahead and attach this label. And this is one of the traditional labels dies that I cut from here with Real Red cardstock. And I'm going to put it just so it goes over that point a little bit. Kind of center it on there. And then I'm going to place some adhesive across the middle. And I'm going to set some of this real red, what is it called? Shiny ribbon, real red shiny ribbon. I'm going to set that just across the middle. I like to do that to set the ribbon into the adhesive because it's just so much easier to work with. If I would try to take my adhesive and run it along the ribbon, it just doesn't always work well. Either it doesn't stick or it gets the ribbon fibers on your adhesive. Either way, not the best. All right, this is another die cut from the traditional labels, and I'm going to use one of the greetings from that stamp set with Secret Sea ink. This says just for you. So I'll go ahead and stamp that on the label. And we will add that with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Flip that over and just do a few on the back. So in our projects for our retreat in a box, which again, I just cannot tell you how excited I am. The projects, they are just literally so good. I am so excited to share this with people. Anyhow, you're going to see a lot of this ribbon on those projects, as well as these awesome sparkling sequins. Traditional sparkling sequins is the actual name, and you can see there is gold, blue, green, and red. Lots of really fun colors. I'm going to pull a few gold ones to add to this project here. What do I want to do? I think I'll put the bigger one down here and add a small one down here, and then put the medium-sized up at the top. So you might be thinking, okay, that's great. You've got a little pouch. Now what? Well, here's where you have options. I like to do a little treat with a hot chocolate packet. So I just slide this in. You can put it at place settings if you're having a gathering for the holidays. Maybe you have some coworkers that you want to drop it off. Maybe it's the person at the bank or the post office. Just a simple little treat to brighten someone's day with that hot chocolate packet in there. Now, if hot chocolate's not your thing, I am sure that you could find some type of chocolate to fit in this space. You've got options. So I want to pull in these other samples and talk to you about each of them and tell you some of the different things that I did. So the basic, starting with your 6x12, scoring, marking at 3 inches, cutting the diagonal, that's all going to stay the same on all of these. But then what I did to create the focal point in the greeting is what changed. So this is another piece from the traditional labels, the die cut as well as the greeting. This is another scallop piece that you'll find in the Keeping Tradition scrapbooking kit that's part of the retreat. And I just love the simple banner there. Added a little blue sparkling sequin, and it's really fun. Again, slide your hot chocolate packet in or out. This one is a little bit busier because of the patterns of paper here. So, it's up to you if you like that look or not. You could always take a solid piece of cardstock here and just slide it in if you wanted it to be a little more calm. That's definitely an option. I added some ribbon down here at the bottom. This one. This might be my most creative one, and I want to show you what I did. So do you remember how I cut off those triangles, right? So let me pull this out just so you can see that paper. And I'll scoot this one, and I still have that one to show you, but let's focus on these two for right now. So this is kind of opposite, where the floral multicolored is on the outside here with the stripes in the center. This time we have the monochromatic on the outside, multicolored on the inside. But look what I can do. Instead of putting this across for this one, all I did was put these pieces here. Do you see it? So the parts that got cut off to make that angle are what I did down here. You see that? So they just fit right there. That is a great way. What I love about this one is just how it pulls that together, but you still see the other pattern. And then I added those diagonals of ribbon. Same thing, just ran my adhesive along the designer paper, set the ribbon into it, added some red sparkling sequins. I really liked the creativity on this one. Slide your little hot chocolate packet in, and you're good to go with that treat. So another option, if you're not into the hot chocolate packet is just to simply take a piece of cardstock. I added a few little pieces, strips that were left over on the bottom, but you can use this as a card. So it's a nice pocket card. You could stamp or write a greeting on there. You can also, if you want to, take it this way and slide it down in. And it's kind of fun at the top there too then. So either way you want to do that, and you could do that with any of these if you prefer to have a card insert instead of the hot chocolate, or if you find a chocolate bar or whatever. So like on this one that's kind of busy, if you'd rather have it be like that, it kind of tones it down a little bit. Another option, in case you are not inspired enough, wait, there's more. Let's slide this one back in here where it goes. So all of these different options, different tags, different greetings, add some ribbon, add some sequins. You've got all of these options here, but I also wanted to point out you can use solid cardstock. I use the two-tone cardstock for this one just because it's a little bit thinner than our traditional cardstock, so it folds up a little bit easier. But I just took some cardstock, some two-tone cardstock, and then I cut a piece to go inside and then matched it here. Now I will point out, you might think, oh, it's a pouch, I need a belly band. A belly band is just simply a long strip that goes all the way around. You really don't. You don't have to waste that designer paper around the back because you'll see this from the front, but because it's attached on the bottom, you don't need anything else like a belly band to secure it. This label just stays in place, and that's just a layer, you know, like on these as well. So it's not a belly band, it's just simply a layer. Whether you want cardstock, I like doing the designer paper just to see both patterns, but this is certainly an option. Maybe you don't have any big pieces. Maybe you want to use up your designer paper scraps to do this. This would be a great option to use cardstock and add the designer paper accents. So this is what I have for you today. I love the little treat idea. Like I said, just something to brighten someone's day that's so easy to make with hot chocolate, with a chocolate bar, or using it like this one as a card with your greeting that pulls out there. That is what I have for you today. I would love your thumbs up vote for this week's competition. Be sure to click through to watch Lisa, Lauren, and Julie and their awesome projects. And I'm going to say one more time, these are great. These are using that suite of products, but these are not what you'll make in our Retreat in a Box. These are just like bonus projects for you using those same products. So be sure to look at the description here. There is a link to register for the Retreat in a Box. I encourage you to take a look at that link. Ask any questions you have. It's going to be so much fun. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.